How many pro wrestling news websites do you visit to get your daily news? 3, 4, maybe 5? Do yourself a favor and make that number 1. WrestleChat.net, the only professional wrestling news site that brings you all wrestling news all day long, and is home of the critically acclaimed Still Real to Us podcast, starring former CZW, ROH, and ECW announcer Eric Gargiulo and the champ Jeff Peck. That's WrestleChat.net. WrestleChat, it's where it's at.
Get ready for the countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
It's still
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to this week's edition of the Still Real to Us Show, episode number 101 for January 19th, 2012. I am the champ, Jeff Peck, of course, as always, sitting in this hosting chair with all of you, sitting down for the next hour talking some wrestling. And joining me this week, filling in that co-hosting chair, sliding right back into it, welcome back the leader of the Redneck Revolution, the one and only Captain Obvious. Captain, how are we this week, my man?
Doing wonderful. It's a nice, lovely day here in North Carolina. Got off work, rushed home, had to deal with the 5 o'clock traffic to make it here in time to entertain the masses.
That is right, the masses. Now, let me ask you a question. I know this isn't the weather section of the show, but here in just in the shadows of Titan Towers in Sanford, Connecticut, we are looking at snow tonight, Thursday night, and we're looking at anywhere between 1 to 6 inches of snow on Saturday night. So it's cold here. It's like maybe 39, 38 degrees out here in this my neck of the woods. What's it like in North Kakalaki right now?
We've been on this like roller coaster of weather where like we'll have 3 days where we're like in the 20s to 40s, and then like it'll jump to 65 for 2 days, and then back into the 30s. So you never really get your body accustomed to winter yet. So, like, the next 3 days is supposed to be really, really cold, and then back to, like, 60-something on Saturday. So we're just – usually we get our first snowfall, like, around the 1st of February. Every year we get, like, an ice storm and then snowfall. So we still got a couple weeks left before that hits us.
For all those that keep track at home, my first snowfall was back in October. Late October, which was just awesome because we were without power. But we'll save the snow talk for, of course, Snowcast. That could also be seen here at wheelhouseradio.com and WrestleChat.net. Stay tuned for more details on Snowcast. Let me get this right out of the way, out of the gate here, regarding the WrestleChat.net. They are sponsoring a contest. It's going to continue now for another week because maybe the directions that we gave, being at a live show and things get jumbled, and sometimes directions for those shows or directions for contests kind of get lost in translation a bit. So just to make it clear to all the great listeners out there, you are still eligible right now to win 2 WWE live event tickets to a next time they come to your area, and a $50 gift card to WWEshop.com, courtesy of WrestleChat.net, as in celebration to our 100th episode that was on last week's show, of course, our live show. All you have to do, now pay attention here, to enter the contest, you got to do 2 things. You can't do one of 2 things. You have to do 2 things. You have to retweet the Still Real Tough Show link from WrestleChat.net. You can follow them on Twitter, at WrestleChatNet. You got to retweet that. When this show becomes available, retweet that link. It'll say the Still Real Tough Show episode number 101 for January 19th, 2012, and it will have a link. Retweet that. Number 2, once you do that, you can do this first. I don't care what you do. It's got to be both. You got to comment on this week's episode to be eligible. You could still retweet. You could retweet this show. This is how we're going to go off on it. All those who retweeted and commented on last week's show, you're still eligible. If you retweeted, didn't comment, you're not eligible. But if you want to be eligible again, you can't be already eligible twice. So eligible again if you were disqualified from the last time there. Retweet the link from WrestleChatNet on Twitter and leave a comment for the 101 or 101st episode. And you will be eligible for 2 live event tickets to a WWE show next time they come to your area and a $50 gift card to WWEshop.com. All courtesy of WrestleChat.net in celebration of us reaching the 100 milestone. Many thanks to Brett and all the guys over at WrestleChat.net for doing that contest. So please, it's rather easy. You don't have to answer a trivia question. You don't have to shave your head. You don't have to wax your back or any other region. All you have to do is comment and retweet. It's simple, and you can get 2 tickets and a $50 gift card. You can't beat it. All courtesy, once again, of WrestleChat.net. So please, just do the contest. It's going to be freaking simple. I wish I was eligible to do it, but I'm not. I'm here doing the show. But that's cool, because I enjoy it. So this week's show, we're going to talk about a whole bunch of different stuff. No TNA or Hardy talk, which is surprising from Captain Obvious on here for everybody who are historians of this great show. We're going to talk a little bit about Randy Orton's injury, Michael Cole's commentary, if it's regarding burying wrestlers and if it's equaling to the low ratings. Brock Lesnar retiring. I mean, this is some stuff that's old, but we didn't really get a chance to touch upon it on the live episode. We have a question on our Facebook page over at the Still Real Tough Show on Facebook. We're going to talk maybe a little bit about the ECW arena this past Saturday, and the rise and fall of Zack Ryder. All coming up on tonight's episode here, today's, depending whenever you listen to the show. This week's edition of the Still Real Tough Show, the 101st edition of the Still Real Tough Show, January 19th, 2012. But we're going to open it up with this topic, Captain, and it's a sad story to open up with because I like this guy a lot as a wrestler. I think he is extremely, extremely talented. I'm always entertained every time he is in the ring, and that is regarding the latest, and I say latest because it wasn't too soon, not too long ago that he was suspended from before, the latest suspension for Evan Bourne, also known on the indie scene as Matt Sydal. This suspension is a 60-day suspension. This is his second violation of the wellness program. Next time he violates the wellness program, he will be fired by the WWE. He was suspended for 30 days, I think somewhere around November, and then came back to the roster and failed another drug test, which is just horrible, horrible news because he's so talented. I'm going to read the exclusive story that's available at WrestleChat.net, courtesy of Brett Clendaniel there, the main head honcho at WrestleChat.net. And Captain, I'd like to get your thoughts here on Evan Bourne. I know you're a big indie guy as well. You saw him as Matt Sydal, and I'm sure you enjoy his work in the WWE. This is all verbatim here. This article is available at WrestleChat.net if you'd like to read it yourself. Earlier today, it was revealed that Evan Bourne would be suspended a second time for failing a WWE wellness policy test. As stated before, the second violation is indeed for the exact same thing as the first one, the synthetic marijuana, also known as spice. Bourne was first told about the possible failure at Tuesday's SmackDown taping, so last Tuesday's, not this past one. So last week, just before the 100th episode. So that would be the 10th of January. The positive test was confirmed at Friday's WWE Live event, where they ended up dropping the tag team titles to Epico and Primo there, the new Colons, or Colons, as Miz and Morrison would say. The same source also revealed to us that Evan Bourne initially intended to fight the most recent suspension, as he claims that this recent failure was from a test that was extremely close to his first failure. Bourne feels as if he's being suspended twice for the exact same incident. After the first failed test, the same source close to Bourne contacted WrestleChat.net about our the initial report there on Evan Bourne's suspension and informed us that any reports of Bourne having backstage heat for ratting out R-Truth was inaccurate. Bourne sees Truth as a close friend to his and would never abuse his trust. The source also told us that previous reports about Truth and Bourne failing respective wellness tests were not due to the same incident. So prior it was reported that it was from the same incident at some party. While they did fail tests for the exact same thing, the synthetic marijuana, also known as spice, they were not together at the time, and the incidents are completely unrelated.